I think a lot of what's characterized our research over the years, whether it's challenger sale, challenger customer, the new book, The JOLT Effect, is following what we call kind of the lead steer effect in sales. And I think what we know is that when there are obstacles out there in the buying environment, when customers are changing the way they buy. So think about the topic we started the conversation with, customers out there learning on their own. If you want to know what to do in the face of that, what you do is you look at and you study with data what the very best salespeople are doing now, because they're like this, the lead steers in the front of the pack, spotting the obstacles, adapting where they're going, left, right, straight, and everyone else follows, right? So there's this, and this has been true for decades. Neil Rackham wrote about this in Spin Selling. When companies were shifting from selling simple products to selling more complex solutions, Neil and his team went out there to document what did the best solution salespeople figure out about how to sell these more complex, disruptive, all-encompassing solutions, these products wrapped in layers of service that are expensive and they're risky and disruptive for the customer. What's different about selling stuff like that? And nobody had written a book on that. Nobody had ever had a point of view on that until Neil went and studied and said, oh, the best salespeople have figured out there's a big difference between selling products and selling solutions. Here's what's different about that. Challenger, this was a story about like, what do we do when customers are learning on their own? What we do is we bring the thing they couldn't learn on their own. We challenge their thinking. We push their thinking. We don't ask them what's keeping you up at night. We show them what should be keeping you up at night. That was the story of that book. And I think this problem of no decision losses has been getting worse and worse and worse. And I think in the next couple of years with a downturn, it's going to get amped up to even higher levels. This is a huge problem for salespeople. If you're a salesperson listening to the show, if you're a sales leader or a business leader, think about how much time is wasted when 40 to 60% of all the opportunities you pursue are lost to no decision. Now, these are opportunities where you go through the entire sales process. And it often takes you way longer to figure out the deal's not going to close than you should have figured out. Think about the customer's time and how much they're wasting their own time, their own team, investing in a process that ends up leading to nothing. If we could simply figure out a way to extract some wins from that 40 to 60% of deals lost to no decision, we would all be better off. This is a tide that will lift all boats. We don't need to generate more leads. We don't need to do more marketing. We don't need to invest in demand gen. All that opportunity is sitting right in our pipelines right now. And so I think that this is when we want to understand how to solve for this, what do? We go out and figure out what have the best salespeople learned on their own. And what they learned was you've got to jolt the customer into action. They figured they wouldn't have called it that, but they were doing these things, judging indecision, offering recommendations, limiting the exploration, de-risking the sale or taking risk off the table. And by doing that, they got these indecisive customers to actually make progress and actually make a decision, even if that decision is no, right? And that is why high performers lose far less frequently to no decision, because these are the things that they do. Again, we didn't invent these things. We studied them with data and we gave a framework and language to it so that we can help everyone else learn from what the best salespeople have figured out on their own.